Hey everyone, this is Dave with Universal Midi Controller.com, and what we're going to talk about today is our next version of the software and the user interface, version 2, and kind of show you some of the things that we've changed. So let's get right into it. The first thing we changed was with version 1, whenever you brought up a web browser, you had to go to a particular IP address. 192.168.137. something. It was a number that we gave you. And while that works fine, wouldn't it be much easier if you just could go to something like violanoplayer.com and that would take you right to the interface? That'd be much easier to remember. So we've implemented a mechanism where you can do that. You can bring up your browser, you can go to violanoplayer.com, and it will take you to the UI. And in fact, we can name it whatever you want. So if you've got other instruments that have been MIDIized that's using our system, like maybe a Seaberg H or Nickelodeon, you could go to Nickelodeon.com or SeabergH.com, and Nickelodeon.com would not take you to the Nickelodeon site, the Disney site. It would actually take you to your Nickelodeon. So anyway, we'll go ahead and demonstrate that right now. So I've got my iPad up. I'm connected to the network, the Wi-Fi network that this machine's on. So I'll bring up Safari. And of course, since it's not connected to the internet, it tries to go to Google, which doesn't exist. So let me put in violanoplayer.com. COM, and hit go, and there we go. There's the UI. So anyway, we think that's going to make it easier for people. You won't have to remember a bunch of weird numbers or have them written down somewhere. You can have it an easy to remember name. And in fact, you could have it several names to go to this device. It could be Violano Player, Violano 1, Violano 2, whatever you want. When you order the system, just let us know and we'll configure it that way. If you've already got the system, send us an email and we'll give you instructions on how to do it or talk to you on the phone. It's a pretty easy thing to do once you've got the version 2 software and everything up and running. So now let's go ahead and start with the actual changes to the UI. So let's get started. So the first thing we'll do is launch the web page. And if you've got version 1, you'll see we changed the photo on the splash screen to be a different Violano. And the Violano that's now shown on the splash is a very rare Mills Violano version. In fact, it's the only one known to exist. A friend of mine who used to own that machine sent it to me, and so I thought, well, it might be kind of cool to show a pretty rare machine for the splash screen for the Violano, so that's what we did there. Next thing you'll see are a couple new buttons that show up when you enter the All Songs mode. One is Settings, and one is Enter Rename Song Mode. The first one that we'll talk about is Settings. If you tap on that, that shows you some of the configuration settings you can do. In general, you should probably never mess with these unless you're instructed to by us, but we'll just go through them one at a time real quickly so you know what they do. MIDI device. If you tap on that and then you tap on the drop down, it'll show you the different MIDI devices that the computer can talk to. If you purchase our default system with where we provide all the hardware, you'll see USB Uno MIDI interface or something like that. That is what you want to select, or that's what you want to be checked. And if you look above that, what's in bold, it says USB Uno MIDI interface. That's the one that's currently being used. So that is correct. But if you want to change it, you can change it. You hit Set MIDI Device. Just a word of warning, if you change to the wrong one, the Violano is not going to play. So unless you're having problems, don't mess with that. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to return to the player. We'll go back to Settings, Update Music. If you've purchased additional music for your Violano, you will be emailed probably, or maybe snail mailed, a thumb drive with the music on it. If you're emailed, you're probably emailed a link to download the music to. You insert the thumb drive into the computer, and then you hit update music, and it will copy the music from the thumb drive and store it in the proper locations in the computer, and you're good to go. The next one is update software. Periodically we add more capability, more functionality to the system. We want to make it very easy for you to update the software. So the same thing, you'll get a thumb drive, or you'll download the files onto a thumb drive. You stick it on the computer on the inside, you hit update software, and it will automatically load the software, reconfigure it as necessary, and all that. Pretty straightforward. The next thing that you've got is to restart player. You should probably never need to do that, but if the thing is just acting weird for whatever reason or not using, you can reboot it. Of course, you can always reboot it by unplugging it and plugging it back in, or if you just hit restart player, that will just reload the website, and everything should be working. Again, probably something you'll never need to do, but it's there. That's what it's for. Versions and licensing. This tap on that, it tells you what version you're running, and right now you can see I'm running version that was created on August 7th, 2018, and it's currently running in debug mode. Yours will probably say release mode. It may say some other things, but if you're having problems and you email us, that's probably one of the first things we'll want to know is what version are you running, and that's how you get it. License keys. Don't ever change those. If you change them, if you put in the correct system license key, the machine will only play a song for 15% and then shut off. If you've got CoinPlay activated and you put in the wrong CoinPlay license key, then CoinPlay will not work. So don't mess with those license keys at all. The next thing is just an about. Just tells you about the software, and that's special there. And the other one is just return to the player. So that's it as far as settings go. The next thing is you'll see rename song mode. So there may be songs that are named something, and you want to change their name for whatever reason. And for example, we have All My Loving. And All My Loving actually appears in several areas in the user interface. If we go to albums and we look at the Beatles, you'll see All My Loving. If we go to playlists and we look at my playlist, I've got All My Loving as one of my favorite songs, or in that playlist. So let's say if I change that, we enter rename song, then I tap the song I want to rename, All My Loving. It says, okay, you enter what you want to name it, or rename it to. So I'm just going to rename it to All My, this is just for demonstration purposes, All My Loving, and I'm going to put in 2 G's at the end. So I hit OK, and so now you can see All My Loving is with 2 G's. But let's go to the albums where that song was. And we go to the Beatles, and sure enough, the name was changed there as well, and All My Loving. If we go to playlists, and we go to Dave's, the first song is All My Loving with 2 G's. So the point is, I'm making is you only need to change it in one spot. You change it in the master, and the system will automatically go and find everywhere else that song is referenced and also change the name. So let's just change it back to what it's supposed to be. Rename. And All My Loving. Whoops, not living. Loving. Okay. So the extra G went away. And just to confirm, let's go to albums, go to the Beatles, and it's back to where we set it to. So that's cool. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is some things that we've done when you're playing a song. and we've added the capability to easily restart the song and to easily adjust the tempo. In version 1 of the UI, we had a slider bar, and you use your finger to adjust the tempo, which worked okay. It wasn't great, but it was really hard to adjust the tempo by 1 or 2%. Now you can do that. So let's start All My Loving, and we'll adjust the tempo. So you should see. So you see that the slower and faster next to tempo. We'll go ahead and hit faster. So you could probably hear it speeding up a little bit, and we can also slow it down. So that was a pretty significant improvement, because a lot of times when you were trying to adjust the tempo, it was really hard with the slider bar to get the exact location, the exact tempo you wanted. The next thing we added was the ability to restart the song when it was playing in the middle. So let's again, so we'll start All My Loving. So let's go ahead and restart the song. So you now have the ability to restart the song. You can still do that in version 1 by using the slider bar that's moving, that shows you what the position of the song is to position 0. But we just thought putting a restart button in there would be easier. The next feature we put in has to do with playlists and albums. So let's go to Playlists, and let's go to My Playlist, Dave's. So now when we start a playlist, there'll be another button that appears that says go to the next song. So let's say you're 35 seconds into a song and you want to just advance to the next song. So we'll start with All My Loving, and let's say 10 or 15 seconds in the song, I don't want to hear that anymore. I want to go to the next song on the playlist. So we'll say Start Playlist, Dave's. And you'll see next song. And so that's pretty much it. Those are the enhancements we made to the version 2 of the user interface. Like I said, if you've got version 1 and you want version 2, let us know. We'll ship you the files, and then you can go into settings, update software, and all this new stuff will appear for you, and you can use it. We haven't yet released it. We're getting, well, by the time you see this video, we probably have released it, but as of December 4th, 2018. It's not yet ready to be released. Probably in the next week or so it will be. So, as always, if you have any questions, email Dave at universalmidicontroller.com. Feel free to send me an email anytime, and hope you found it useful. Thanks.